Board chairperson Khanyisile Kweyama says the dismissal of 14 security staff members is a clear illustration that the board is committed to rooting out criminal elements in the rail agency. The 14 were fired over an incident in which they stormed the Prasa headquarters in Pretoria in October 2018 and attempted to steal a Toyota Quantum minibus, or rather Toyota Quantum minibus taxis belonging to the rail agency. Now, for more on this, we're joined on the line by the Prasa board chairperson, Ms. Khanyisile Kweyama. A very good morning to you and thanks for making the time. Please tell us about the disciplinary proceedings against the 14 security staff members.
Thank you for having us, Desiree. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Thank you for having us, Desiree, and to the viewers. Yes, the disciplinary, as you have said, has taken place, and the 14 security officials have been found guilty. And the background is that there was an attempted robbery at Prasa premises where a fleet of minibus taxis was parked, ready to be dispatched to various regions. With the lack of vigilance from around the area, the police were alerted when they were picked up by security cameras from neighboring premises, and they were arrested. They assaulted the guards who were working at that time, and as you say, the guise was that it was a simulation exercise, which clearly was not approved and demonstrates that there was never an intention to do a simulation, but that this was a robbery. All the security officials are currently out on bail, but a disciplinary process was taking place parallel to that. They have been found guilty and they have been dismissed.
There has been concern recently about the stabilization of Prasa, and it almost seems like you're always putting out fires, and this seems like the latest in a list of fires to put out.
It is a list, and this just is a demonstration of the many years of destruction that have been going on at Prasa, that for years there hasn't been investment in infrastructure. People have been allowed to just do as they please and damage the company instead of doing the right thing. And as a newly appointed board, when Minister Nzimande appointed us, one of our specific briefs was to stabilize so that it can return to normality, because for as long as things are not normal, you will never see the turnaround, the rescue, and all that. So, it seems like baby steps, but it is working in an environment where there has been a lot of disruption over 20 years. So,
have these security guards been finally? Is it confirmed that they are now dismissed?
Yes, they were dismissed already as of yesterday. The criminal matter continues. And obviously that is in the hands of the court, and we are looking forward to that being resolved as well, so that the law takes its course in that regard.
Prasa has recently appointed a new CEO. How is that panning out? Is there light at the end of the tunnel?
There is light at the end of the tunnel, and I should clarify that the previous CEO, who was supposed to still be there, resigned before his contract ended. We have appointed a temporary that is for a 6-month contract, which is a secondment from the Department of Transport. The process of interviewing and appointing a permanent CEO, all that has been advertised, as well as executives, and that process will now proceed in terms of screening and appointing the people permanently to Prasa.
One of the news-making stories to come out recently is the president of the country being stuck in one of your trains for quite a while they were trying to do election campaigning. What were the reasons for this?
There were several, and this talks to the earlier point that I made to you about the network at Prasa, in that the delays are unacceptable. We are the first ones to say that as a board. So the president was stuck. There were other trains that were stuck on the same day, and it's just very unfortunate that the first citizen had to be stuck, just as it's very unfortunate that workers have to deal with this on an everyday basis, where they are late to work, late getting to work and other engagements. I mean, we carry students to school, and they are often late, which disturbs their learning. A result, once again, of the fact that the network has problems. There is cases, I mean, every day we report cable theft. There's clearly a syndicate out there that just calls for this cable, and people steal it and take it because they don't have jobs. So a multitude of reasons that contributed to that particular incident, but on a regular basis. You know, Prasa has had turnaround strategy after turnaround strategy that hasn't been implemented, that is meant to bring Prasa back to stability. And as a board, Minister Nzimande came to see us recently to just put emphasis on ensuring that we turn around very basic fundamental structures at Prasa that will ensure that we get back on track. And this also talks to the management, in that over the years, people have not been interested in making sure that Prasa functions, but have been sabotaging the system. You know, the cases of corruption and irregular tenders is out there in the public domain, when people were supposed to get there and do work and deliver, but they just took the money and ran. And that is all that we are dealing with on a regular basis, while at the same time ensuring that management is stable and that we bring in the necessary skills that will ensure that they run the rail agency as it's supposed to be run.
This culture of criminal elements, having a sense of entitlement, the security guards were wanting to steal a fleet, and you're saying that cable is being stolen. Where did this all start?
You know, and I think without making excuses, this clearly is a bigger symptom in the country. You know, we have various commissions that are sitting now that are showing how executive boards just systematically eroded the very institutions that have, the ones that are supposed to be delivering to the people. But the looting is everywhere. The executives who came there not to do work, but to whatever they can get and run. And one of the issues that has come out at Prasa is around conducting lifestyle audits. Because when you look around, you see that people are just not living the lifestyle of people who are just working as junior managers, middle managers, senior managers. Yeah. And that will then pinpoint and say, this is unusual. You know, you can't be driving a Ferrari when you are a personal assistant and earning 15,000 or 20,000 a month. So it talks to go into the heart, and these are just symptoms of a bigger problem in our society. You are seeing it at ESCOM, you are seeing it at various institutions where people just looted without feeling that there is a tomorrow. So we are faced with that at various entities, and I think that the President and our Minister and various have demonstrated that there is now zero tolerance for that. But while that happens, it means we have to go back and fix the damage that has been caused over the years by people who had absolutely no interest in the institution, but rather in lining their own pockets.
So, Ms. Kweyama, every now and again here on the show, we run surveys, and one of the frustrations that commuters have expressed is that they're in the dark. They don't know why these problems are happening at Prasa. What sort of, as a chairperson steering the processes, what sort of assurances can you give commuters in terms of how they interact with Prasa?
You know, the systems are there. There is a system that is supposed to communicate, but it doesn't. And you notice I emphasize supposed. And as a board, it's one of the areas we have been seized with to say, how do you communicate? We've taken unannounced visits, just like the President was unannounced, where we go to various stations and a train was supposed to arrive at a certain time, and it didn't arrive at that time. And there is no communication. At times there is communication, and commuters will comment and say, oh, just because the board is here, now there is communication. And we found that what is supposed to be a system the lines were actually not functioning. So as one example of communication is that the board sat and with management revamped the whole communication strategy. And we will be working in the next couple of days with various institutions such as the SABC and other communications media to ensure that we reach the people, community radio stations, various radio stations, television as a medium, so that we are announcing on a regular basis. The minister has deployed stakeholders to go and sit at Prasa stations, not to do Prasa work, but to be in touch with the people and to hear what their concerns are, because we can only fix when we know what the concerns are. But an underlying theme to all that is that people just didn't care. They didn't bother that the hotline was not working. They didn't bother that the customer service line was not working. And you will see as the days go that we are taking consequences on those people, that there is a bigger focus on consequences management, that you cannot come to work and the line is not functioning and you do nothing about it. There cannot be an accident and people continue, life goes on as normal. People have to be accountable and say, what work were you doing to ensure that you are meeting your objectives so that this particular problem is dealt with? And if it shows that the performance was not there, then honestly, people have to be disciplined for that.
Ms. Kweyama, thank you so much for talking to us. But just on another unrelated matter, a story that we spoke about at the weekend of the vacancies at Brand SA. And the problems there, the CEO, Mr. Khanyisile Kweyama, being put on a leave indefinitely. What is happening at Brand SA?
That's called an ambush, Desiree, but it's okay. So what
I apologize.
That's okay. What has happened at Brand SA is that it's not indefinite leave. The CEO was initially placed on special leave and he has subsequently been suspended because of allegations that were made and investigations that have been conducted at Brand SA. The delays are really through timing, but also the fact that the CEO himself at some stage in the disciplinary process requested that we postpone because he had some challenges with his legal team. So last year we had the process and then the December festive period kicked in and there was really no work happening. We had to change a chair in the middle of the process because the previous chair who presided over his first charge was no longer available. We had to procure properly that process, and once we had a chair, on the first day that we have appeared, the CEO said postponement. We have scheduled additional dates in in April, I'm sorry, that's far, in April, and we really want to conclude this as quickly as possible. But having said that, the Brand SA is not in shambles. The script that's out there is that shambles, but there are people acting in those roles, as we are aware in various institutions, in many institutions, when an executive is away, even on leave or goes to hospital, somebody acts. So there are people that are acting at Brand SA and that are continuing the work of branding South Africa, and I count numerous activities. We are at the New Development Bank as we speak, but there are others who have been on a roadshow, international roadshow with DTI, continuing to do the work that NSA is supposed to be doing every day.
So it's not negatively impacting the country that its marketing arm is seen to be dysfunctional at a time when the president is trying to attract investment?
We are trying very hard to make sure that it's not dysfunctional, that work continues. And by having the acting executives that are acting, work does continue. There is no program that has come to a halt. And hence, I make examples for you of the international roadshow that has been taking place with DTI. I think they were in Germany about a week ago. We are at the New Development Bank as we speak. So work continues, because there is a team of people who do the work. A CEO is not the only person who works in an entity. There is an executive there, there are managers, there's a marketing department, that people continue doing their work.
Ms. Kweyama,
thank
you so much for indulging us.
Thank you, Desmond.
Blaine?